Hey all, today I am in Austin, Texas, and I have the opportunity to drive the Kia K4. Now we are going to be in the GT line model, and we are going to be driving both the turbo and the non-turbo engine. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm just going to tell you some of the things that I like on this vehicle. I'm going to tell you some of the things that I don't like. There are a few. And then we'll get into some driving impressions. So let's take a look at this week's car du jour, the Kia K4. Now, before I jump into the things that I like and the things that I don't like, I do want to do a quick exterior walk around of this vehicle because this is the GT line and we are driving the GT line and the GT line turbo today, and there are some visual differences that you're going to notice on these vehicles. So this specifically right here is the GT line turbo, but both the GT line models will have a blacked out grille appearance, and it makes it just a little bit more sporty, a little bit more upscale. But this model specifically also has some different headlight treatments over the GT line because this is the turbo. As you walk around the side, you will notice that you have 18-inch alloy wheels. That is unique to the GT line. This specifically is the GT line turbo, so you have black alloy wheels. Coming around to the side, you see the black trimmings along the base of the vehicle, and then again, coming around to the back, you have the gloss black on the rear spoiler. Now, while we're back here, I do want to start with the first thing that I like on my list, and that is going to be the cargo space. So this has 14.6 cubic feet of cargo volume, which is really good for a compact sedan. And so, you know, for visual reference, of course, you know, I'm going to have to climb into the trunk. And there are a couple of backpacks back here, but this has like a nice little bumped out space here and here. So I can almost lay flat back here, which means you're going to be able to fit golf clubs, no problem. The other thing that I really like about this space, and I didn't realize how much I appreciated it until I encountered a vehicle that didn't have it. You actually have the little pull tab right here that will drop your rear seats. And I really appreciate that because that means you don't actually have to climb into the car to put the seats flat. So just a nice little feature in this vehicle is super helpful. And because I did just climb in the trunk, I do feel obligated to point out this does have the emergency release button right here that glows in the dark. So if somebody got stuck back here, they can get themselves out. Now, you can't talk about the things that you like about this vehicle without getting into the pricing information because this vehicle starts at about $22,000, including destination fees. And I find that to be incredibly impressive. If you go all in and you're looking at the GT line and you want the turbocharged engine, you're still going to come in under $30,000. I find that to be incredibly impressive for all of the things that you get. So I really, really like that. And the things that you get are the other part of the equation of the things that I really like. So this very large screen here is going to come with the GT line model. You've got heated and ventilated seats that are available. You've got wireless charging. You've got dual automatic climate controls. You have the digital display. You have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And I love how this appears on the screen. It fills out everything really well. I like my driving position. As a petite driver, I'm about 5 feet tall, and a lot of times I'll have problems, you know, being able to see out the windows, get the seat up high enough, and just feel comfortable in the driving position. This is perfect. The seat bottoms aren't too big. I feel like I'm the right distance from the steering wheel. I mean, I'm more than 12 inches here, and the NHTSA recommends that you're 10 inches, so this is perfectly safe. Don't think I'm too close to the steering wheel. So all of the things that you have for less than $30,000 are just, to me, incredibly, incredibly impressive. I mean, come on, you even have memory saved seats. So if me and my husband, with two very disparate driving positions, were in this vehicle, yeah, we never have to worry about him eating the steering wheel or me like being too far and flailing. Memory seats. So that was a lot of stuff that I really like on this vehicle. Now it's time to transition into the things that I don't like. All right, I have to be honest, I'm picking a few nits here on the things that I don't like, but let's start with this white interior. I think it looks really good. I really like the two-tonedness of the steering wheel, the seats. I like the fact that they carried it into the back seat. I like that. However, I'm going to tell you, I am a messy person, and I would get this dirty immediately. I mean, I do appreciate the fact that they didn't put it on the seat bottom itself, but even sliding in and out of the seat, you're gonna get your jeans, your indigo is gonna rub off on this white trim, and if you ever have dirty hands while you're driving, I mean, you don't read newspapers anymore really, but I used to have newsprint on my hands all the time. This would be so fingerprinted. But here's the good news. This is just one option. There is another interior option choice that I haven't seen, but I have to imagine it's going to be way cooler than this, and it's red. So if you don't like the white, you can opt for a red. But those are your two options for the GT line model. Now, the other thing that I don't like has to do with this, and it's not my driving position, but it is the position of the HVAC controls. So again, like my driving position, but one of the things I realized when I was a little bit chilled this morning, I needed to turn the heat up, looking at what the temperature is, and your HVAC controls are in this little panel right here. And for my visibility, the steering wheel kind of bisects the HVAC controls. So the good news is you do have hard controls right here to adjust your temperature and to like adjust your fan speed. But if you actually want to see where you're at and what's going on, you have to do this. I have to do this while I'm driving, and it's an awkward location. Now, another thing that I'm going to point to that I don't like is actually the cup holders. And I should say I don't not like them. I like them, but I noticed they're different sizes, and this is really big, and I have an open cup of coffee here. If I turn, this is gonna come out, and hopefully nobody's sitting in my passenger seat, but yeah, that white is gonna be toast. Now, the front one is a little bit smaller, and it holds in my coffee better, but if you have two people who are both drinking coffee, one of them is gonna have to hold on to their cup during turns. So I wish they were a little bit more adjustable, or these prongy things were pushed out a little bit more so it would hold a smaller cup in here a little bit better. Another thing I'm going to point to that I'm going to say is more on the TBD list of things that I don't like is going to be the wireless charger. I generally have a problem with wireless chargers because, yeah, they tend to overheat my phone. And I will say, I've had my phone in here, but I haven't had it in here consistently for like a 3-hour period. And I noticed that it did heat up my phone, but so far it hasn't overheated my phone or stopped charging my phone. But I will say that this is just a little bit of an awkward location. You'll notice right now, I have it in here, but it's not actually charging my phone. And so I've had to like kind of futz around with it and move my phone to try and find the right spot to get it to charge. And that's annoying to me. Like I've just moved it like 10 times and it's still not charging. So I don't know if it overheats my phone, but the fact that I can't figure out where my phone needs to be to get it to charge gets a little bit of a thumbs down to me. Now for the final two things that I don't like, we actually have to move to the back seat. So sitting in the back seat, I do need to point out, this is my driving position. There's not this much legroom back here. But there is a good amount of legroom back here. It's just not this much. Now, sitting back here, I do have to say, this is very, very picky because this is an economy class car on the entry level of the spectrum. And I'm going to say that I don't like these things, but I'm pointing them out more of a heads up to you than I am, oh, this is horrible, don't buy the car because of this. So the first thing I'm going to say is this is the top tier trim and it has air vents. But I was in the GT line non-turbo earlier and there were no air vents here. So just heads up on that. If you want air vents, you're going to have to go for the $28,000, $29,000 GT line turbo model to get your air vents. Now the other thing, and again, I am picking so many nits here. Yay for the armrest, yay for the cup holders, but there are no prongy things in here. So we're gonna pull the cup of coffee back here. Again, this is just gonna kind of bobble around back here. And if you have anything bigger than this, it is not going to fit in here. And this is a really small bottle holder. So let's see, new prop. Yeah, maybe a 16-ounce water bottle is going to fit in here, but there are no Yetis or anything like that is going to fit in that space. And yeah, so I don't know. Why am I picking nits about cup holders? I'm just doing it. Just a heads up. So prongy things, a little bit bigger. Anything that would make this just more adjustable would be better back here, but this is a $28,000 car. All right, it is now time for me to do some brief driving impressions. I had the opportunity to drive the GT line, and I'm currently in the GT line turbo. So this morning I was in the 2.0 liter 4-cylinder engine. Now that I'm in the 1.6 cylinder turbocharged engine, and I'm going to say something that perhaps a lot of people aren't going to agree with, but you know what? I'm saying it anyway. I like the base engine better. To me, it just had a more consistent power curve, and it felt good. It was peppy. It did what I wanted to do, and as you know, I'm an aggressive driver. I really liked it. And once I got behind the wheel of the turbo, while it had more power and it certainly had a little bit more pep, I thought it also had a little bit more lag. So it just wasn't as consistent to me, and for less money, the 2.0 liter engine is really, really good. So take that for what it's worth. We've been driving through Texas, and I've been on some winding roads, I've been on some highways, and what I've noticed is this handles pretty well. It's not going to be a Porsche 911, it's not going to be a sports car, but it does good. And it's quiet. You know, this specific version has some acoustic glass and some sound deadening materials that are probably a little bit more high-end than what you would see in the lower trimmed models, but this does really good. It's very quiet. On the highway, you don't hear a lot of tire noise creeping in. You don't hear a lot of the outside noise creeping into the cabin. For a vehicle in this price class, this is really good. A couple of other things that I noticed is this does not have automatic stop-start. I hate automatic stop-start. Even though it's gotten a lot better in vehicles, I still don't like it. And it's like, I don't like it. So this vehicle doesn't have it, and I don't think it has it in any trim. I asked, and the product specialists were like, yeah, I didn't notice it. So no automatic stop start, no dreaded button to hit to turn it off every time you get in the vehicle. And here's the thing, even though this doesn't have automatic stop start, the fuel economy is still really good. I've been driving around, and I mean, I've sat in idle for a long period of time while I was doing some video, and so it dropped down to 28 miles per gallon. But while I was driving around, going at speeds from 45 to about 65, I was averaging about 35 miles per gallon. This is not a hybrid, does not have auto stop start. That's really good. And I would say I was getting something similar in the non-turbo engine as well. So fuel economy is impressive, the power equation is impressive, and the overall ride and handling is really good. And this vehicle costs less than $30,000. Can I just say that again? This vehicle costs less than $30,000. I feel like that's probably the third or fourth time I've said it in this video, and it gets no less impressive. Yeah. So the end of the story is, I think this is a great car. I really like the Kia K4. I think they've done a bang-up job, especially with the GT line. I haven't driven the other trims, so I can't speak to those. But this is a great car. It gives you everything that you want for less than $30,000. When the average transaction price of a vehicle in today's day and age is $48,000, this is a steal. And you know what? I'm just going to end with that. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time with a new car du jour.